Hey Money Vikings, wanted to do a quick video here and talk about the five big things that set you up for a secure retirement, or at least maybe even an early retirement. I'm not so big into the FIRE movement like a lot of folks are. I think the retire too early part's a little bit scary. But there are things you can do to ensure a secure sort of future. And when I think back on my journey, I'm kind of starting to think back on things that I did right and things I did wrong, and you can kind of boil stuff down. So I'll go through them pretty quickly. The first one is automation. That, I talk about that a lot on the blog, and we talk about that a lot on the channel. But automating ourselves to wealth is really critical. A lot of this goes down to there's an old mythology of Odysseus, the Odyssey, and it reminds me always of that myth where him and his sailors are passing through the Sirens, and they're basically he has to tie himself to the mast in order to not succumb to what the siren call, as they say. So, which is kind of appropriate as we're at sea here. But that is a key factor, because the siren call is consumerism and living above our means, which is a big problem that a lot of us do experience. So that's number one, I guess, is kind of getting a handle on your needs versus wants, I guess you could say. And a handle on, I'm a big fan of building simple budgets. But anyway, early on, that's critical. So, got to live below your means, and then automate, right? Automate's number one. So I kind of blended that with number two. Sorry about that. Number two is a budget, a basic budget. I'm not into complicated budgets, but basic budgets. And the reason I'm into basic budgets is that you have to have some sense every year of cash coming in and then cash going out. And if that number is negative, then you're definitely on the wrong path. You're on totally the wrong track, okay? So that's the second thing. The third thing I would say is strategic diversification of your assets. I'm not into owning like everything out there, but I have found that a nice mix of equities, CDs, real estate, some alternative investments are critical, and then sticking with them for a while, because short term things go up and down, pretty volatile, but long term, if you're sticking with strategic assets, you're going to do fine. So that's number three. Number four is related to the others, but it's delayed gratification. You have to have a sense or an ability to think long term, and we can't have everything at once. There's an old saying that says you can have it all, but you cannot have it all at once, right? So that's an old saying that I think is kind of interesting about life. It's a little bit of an exaggeration. I mean, I'm not going to be a billionaire making rockets or anything, but in general, most of us in the modern world, if we have pretty good employment, pretty good jobs, pretty stable jobs that are somewhat reasonably well paying, we can pretty much have a pretty nice life, actually, with some foresight and some planning. But you got to think long term. So that's kind of the next concept to keep in mind, is you got to really be thinking long term. And I would say that the fifth concept is to not overreact to markets, right? I've seen, now in my investing career, I've seen 3 or 4 big drawdown pullbacks, .com, Great Recession, COVID, 9/11. You see these really crazy things that happen, and there's a huge drawdown, huge blowback. So the people that have done the worst, I've seen, they panic during these times, sell everything, go to cash, and they're what we call forced sellers, right? You never want to be a forced seller. You want to be creating passive income machines, and that's what we talk about a lot on the channel, is creating passive income machines. So those are just kind of, I want to do kind of a quick 5. So that's 5 in 5 minutes for you. Those are 5 big concepts that I always go back to. So I'm always going back, rethinking those concepts, and sort of ensuring that I'm aligned with them. And I think they lead to pretty good success. I think there's a lot of research and studies out there that show that they can lead to a lot of success when it comes to long-term wealth building. So, all right, it's starting to rain here, so I'm gonna head back in, but thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.